Thank you, Mark, and good morning and welcome to the Horticulture New Zealand Annual Conference for 2011. It's very, very pleasing to see so many people here, given the difficulties we've had with travel over the last 24 hours. We do have a few spare seats, and I think there's a plane load of people sitting in Christchurch that would have dearly loved to have been here, including the Honourable David Carter from his farm on the Banks Peninsula was unable to get up here. I spoke to him early this morning and he'd skidded us all the way to the airport, only to find that there was too much ice on the apron and the plane wasn't going to fly anyway. So with that, we are very, very pleased to welcome Simon Bridges, MP for Tauranga, who is standing in for David Carter, and it's great to have a local young fellow, a young MP, who is able to just pop across the hills here and join us. So welcome, and I'll be introducing Simon shortly. My name is Andrew Fenton. I'm the President of Horticulture New Zealand. I'm a kiwifruit grower, as Mark introduced me, and I've been committed to this business, the horticultural industry, for over 40 years. I welcome all my growers, our delegates, our sponsors, guests and visitors from all parts of New Zealand and those from Australia as well. And a special welcome again to our representative from the government. They're the people that we have a close association with, and they're the people that we have dialogue with on all manner of issues. If the Minister was able to attend, and I hope, Simon, you will take this message back to him for me, well, I would be saying that his continued support of our industry has been much appreciated. It is our flagship occasion, this conference, and we are appreciative of his interest of being here if he could have been, and also his recognition of the contribution you growers make to the economy and the health and well-being of the whole of New Zealand. This conference is well supported. It's well supported by industry and assisted very, very generously by sponsors, and in particular Rabobank. Rabobank has been with us for a number of years, and their support, their financial support, is very much appreciated. The simple fact of the matter is that without that support, we would be unable to have a conference of this scale. The goodwill that it creates and it affords people that assist around that major sponsor and the exhibits puts together an enormous show. Growers in industry and service providers should note these sponsors and on the sponsor board on the back of your program, because these companies are major supporters of the industry. And I would like you to think about reciprocating that support with your business when you are doing your buying. I'm also pleased to say that this conference is not at all funded by the horticultural industry levy. That's quite important. So it's standalone and paid for by sponsors. Today we're also lucky to have a number of international guests, keynote speakers, people from Australia who travel backwards and forwards as we do to their conference. Welcome, and welcome to Rotorua. Welcome to the Bay of Plenty. It is on a sad note, in fact, that our conference was intended to be in Christchurch. And as the events unfortunately unfolded, that was not possible. So we were able to be slotted in here at the Rotorua Event Centre. But I guess, things do happen, things do change, and perhaps if it had been in Christchurch today, we might have been 3 or 4 of us down there and no one else, so things change. In the past, I have taken this opportunity at conference to give you an overview of the issues that Horticulture New Zealand has been handling with during the year. But this year, 2010-2011, is quite different. Extraordinarily different. I've also used the opportunity to talk about the main problems in the different growing areas and the different crops. I've taken the opportunity to talk to the Minister, if he was here, and I'm sure he'll be listening nevertheless, and make the points strongly to him about things that are closest to us: biosecurity, compliance, ETS, RSE, RMA, GIA, and so they go on, these anachronisms that we all struggle with, but they are important. But today I want to talk about some other things. I'm going to spare the Minister and now Simon a little bit of pressure and talk about the issues that are affecting our industry, our livelihoods, and our industry profitability. 2 years ago, at the opening of our conference in Christchurch, I launched the Horticultural Industry Strategy. This was a tremendous day, and just to refresh you, it's the 10-20-20 vision. It's the target of achieving $10 billion in sales for the horticultural industry by year 2020. The time is getting closer, the target is getting closer, and we're getting closer to achieving it. I was very proud of that day, but I'm equally proud now of the progress that we are making, the progress we're making to keep the strategy alive. I'm pleased that the strategy is on target. In fact, we are over halfway. Currently, at June 2010, we passed the $5.5 billion mark for our industry. We have 9 years left to go to achieve our target. This strategy is not a document that is sitting on a shelf somewhere gathering dust. In fact, if anyone wants a refresher, there are copies out here in the exhibition area. Please pick one up. It's active, it's continuously moving, and as you will see in articles in the Grower magazine and the Orchardist, we have been featuring the movers and shakers and the people who are making change and improving the value of this industry. These growers and companies are leading change with aggressive moves. They're striving after new profitability. They're pushing new boundaries. They're pushing new territories. They're developing IP and new products. You will hear some of them talked about today at our discussion this afternoon, and you'll see some of them on the television, on the boards around the exhibition area. I want growers to watch and read and learn from these. Start growing up with new ideas and enjoy what is actually turning into be a thrill and a satisfaction and a new exhilaration that these people are getting from their business. So please get involved in this afternoon's discussion session. I think you'll find it quite invigorating. Our speakers this morning are also entrepreneurs who have led the way. Learn from their example. They're leaders in action. Every day in the Hort New Zealand office, someone says, that's what it says in the strategy. Our boardroom is challenging all the old conventions and saying, how will this move the strategy forward? It is a very important document, and we have to live it, because if we live it, we will actually achieve it. It is really your business that we're talking about here, and I want to ask you something very seriously. All growers here. Is your business a lifestyle choice or a commercial venture? A commercial venture to make profit? It's a very important question that we all need to ask. There's 6,500 growers, and they cover a huge gambit of and wide-ranging number of people with different intentions from the land. There is no doubt in my mind that there's a huge lifestyle value in every farm. But for the serious commercial grower, it's about driving for profit, growing for profit. And out of that, you then afford the lifestyle value for you and your family. I think we need to realise that our industry, our horticultural industry, is growing up, and that we must grow with it. We need to change. We hear growers complaining that the big growers are getting bigger. The small are getting out. And to some degree, that is true. It is the inevitable result of an industry that is struggling and fighting to survive. Growers who are serious about business have to work through these issues, the issues that are limiting their growth. They need to work with other contributors in our industry, and that's what the strategy is all about. So please refresh it and get familiar with it. If we were able to create scale, if we could all sit here today in our different product group sectors and join together and agree to cooperate, we could immediately reduce overheads, increase production, achieve scale, which gives more influence in the supply chain, which should ultimately deliver more profitability at the farm gate, because it's